demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honour, peace, and the defence of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth. And that is very much important, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth. And that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Comot Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does your administration ensure that such enforcement action done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
What will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. What will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, you are falling in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commenced the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Your respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure This is how we are always being molded. That's how God has already molded we are and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That will be his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. A bad person, George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He bad person, George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. Being a bad person, George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
Who took the drugs at the airport? How many days did that drug spend at the airport? Who took the drugs at the airport? How many days did that drug spend at the airport? Who took the drugs at the airport? How many days did that drug spend at the airport? Who took the drugs 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 at the airport? How many days did that drug spend at the airport? Who received the drugs? Who took the drugs at the airport? How many days did that drug spend at the airport?
The investigation found that on Friday, June 5th, 6 boxes were prepared for shipment through the cargo system at the Roberts International Airport. The shipment was processed under Ford's description of ordinary goods, declaring it to be Maggie Cube and Lapa. But from the beginning, there are already red flags. Discrepancies in the declared weight of the product, suspicion from the screening images, and conflicting shipment documentation. Because of those discrepancies, the cargo did not leave as planned on June 5th. On Sunday, June 7, 2026, when the boxes were re-scanned and physically inspected, a white powdery substance was discovered concealed in them. That substance was immediately turned over to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. It was subsequently tested and confirmed to be cocaine.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Good afternoon, people. Thank you so very much that you join us from wherever you are following, wherever you are watching from. Thank you that you join us. It's Tuesday, the 21st day of July 2026. The reign of Judah Christopher, the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Another day, another time, another opportunity. Real talk. We go real, as always, without fear or favor. Liberia is all we got. As stakeholders, we are under obligation to protect it. I'm Sam Andrews. As always, Sam Andrews. Grateful we are to God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe. Yes, he is good, he is faithful. Good God, never reneging on his promises, but fulfilled every word that he utters in the fullness of time. The just God, the only God who hovers the universe, the only God who exacts justice fairly, the only God who sees and knows the heart of each and every person and avenges in the fullness of his time. That God hovers all of us. We are grateful to him. He has brought us into this day. And thank you too for coming on. All of you, you are so great, so massive, so extraordinary. It's because of you we make the sacrifice, and because of us believing in us, you come on from Monday to Friday. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. You are on morning, afternoon, and night. Plabo Classic, Johnsonville, Logantown, Samson Wiesen, Abraham Addison, your residents, Paris Lobart, New Jersey, USA, Asian Menza, Grand Kipman County, Sekou Donzo, Western Australia, Ambassador Walter Morgan Jr., CDC, regular intellectual militant, Tobasi, Darlington Swain, Amara Kamara, Brussels, Belgium, Awelity City, Saturday Witherwell, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Cogway Weeder, Mangibi County, Charles Weir, Jacob Town, Nathan Blair, Spain, Barcelona, Vinicius Bar, Nukutan, Claudia de Paul, Mamin Jackson, Musa A. Sharif, New Georgia, Gatnersville, Alexander Dolly, Tennessee, USA, Hillary Kekula, Johnsonville, Stanley Bozo, Rita Christine Hates, Massachusetts, USA, and thank God Almighty, you are gradually recovering. Rita Christine Hates, Joseph Weir, my dear sister Rita Sonnewood Choir, hope that you are faring well. Thank you for everything, and we appreciate you. You're such a good lady, very good woman indeed. God bless you. Thank you all. The chairman himself, Roman Rico, Kenneth Bohr, Latu Pound, the one and only chairman, the chairman for life. Chairman, Block Titan, District Titan Intellectual Center. All of you great people, thank you. Let's have a wonderful info time. It's Tuesday, interesting Tuesday, busy Tuesday, mystery Tuesday, confused Tuesday. Everything just historical Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. This country will not forget for a very long time, July 21st. The 21st day of July, will not forget. It is a historic day, July 21st. But before we get to the issues we've got on our plate, let's bring you developments unfolding. Then we'll look at 2 issues or 3. Then we are out. Yes. Don't worry. Some of the jurors try to exonerate themselves, try to beg the question. You don't act like the other woman. Siatanda Poli, hold on. If you were planted in there to come out as quickly as possible and say that you were tampered with, you people were tampered with, Siatanda Poli, that lie, you will go to jail. You will go to jail. It's Siatanda Poli. So hold on. Don't rush to be saying all kinds of things. The judge has ordered all of you people arrest, and you people will be investigated. If you lie, you will go to jail. You don't lie, you will go to jail. So, Siatanda Pole, just get ready. The handcuff is waiting to get on your hand. If you people were planted, you will go to jail. No matter how you rush to talk, there's no time to rush. Hold on, don't rush. Why are you so itchy? Let's get out of Liberia as quickly as possible. Oh, God can sleep. The traditional people will say, God can sleep. God eyes is everywhere. God can sleep at all. God can sleep. At least 144 people are believed to be dead or missing after several migrant boats ran into trouble off the coast of Mauritania during rescue operations carried out in several operations between July 14 and 18. Most of the victims were on board that had left the Gambia and spent 25 days stranded at sea. Only 38 people survived, including 2 children who reportedly lost their entire families. Overall, 387 people were rescued in 3 operations. The United Nations Refugee Agency says the deaths and disappearances on sea routes to Europe remain alarmingly high and is calling for better access to education and jobs to reduce dangerous crossing. South African-born billionaire and technology entrepreneur Elon Musk says AI and robots could eventually replace human jobs. Speaking at the Abundant Summit, the Tesla and SpaceX CEO said advanced machines may become so productive that they produce more goods and services than people can consume. He believes governments may then have to give citizens money because traditional jobs would no longer be the main source of income. Elon Musk described the idea as universal high income rather than universal basic income. He said the rapid growth of AI power production could also reduce prices as the supply of goods and services will grow faster than the amount of money in circulation. And 6 bodies have been recovered and 23 passengers rescued after a boat carrying between 30 and 40 people capsized in northern Nigeria on Sunday. The majority of those on board were women and children. The accident happened while the boat was crossing a river. Search and rescue operations are continuing for passengers who remain missing. Residents say the boat may have been overloaded and call on authorities to build a bridge to prevent similar accidents in the future. Those are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Let's get to the events unfolding here now. And we start with the first. The events happen in sequence, sequential events. Finda Bono going to jail. The drug burst, new drug, 157 million cocaine, and Samuel Twe or George Usman Feka decision. 3 events unfolding, 3 high-profile events unfolding today in sequence. Let's start with the first one that unfolded. Finda Bono, the former chief of protocol in the government of the Congress for Democratic Change, is presently at the Monrovia Central Prison, or is currently in jail. She appeared in court with her lawyers, and the court rejected her latest bond. 4 bonds were filed, and all 4 were rejected. Today, the government of Unity Party rejected without remorse whatsoever to the law that it was more than insufficient, that they should have raised the bond, or the bond should have gone to $8 million United States dollars, which would be equivalent to the claim brought against her. And that could not happen. The court did squash the bond, leaving the judge with the option to order her arrest and incarceration or jailing. She finds herself less than no time, even though she moved involuntarily, but the order was already given. So whether she moved involuntarily or walked to the prison or went there all by herself, the order was given by the judge, Usman.
Good afternoon, wherever it is you watching us from. We just right before
at the
8 million what?
8 million United States dollars.
This is
And
a lawyer,
a defendant, are you
and
capable of raising
beside
such
her
amount, 8
is-
million United States
besides
dollars to
the
post
lawyer,
bail? Well, this matter contains over 50 defendants, thereabout, and a total of $2.3 million bond has already been posted by other defendants, other co-defendants in this case. And so we are wondering why the court is imposing such a huge burden on a single co-defendant for which she's now ordered to pay $8 million United States dollars. But be that as it may, we'll take advantage of the law and have her released, and subsequently we'll post the necessary bill required by the law to get her freedom.
Do you think, you just said $8 million is so much of an amount on one defendant? Do you think it's intentional that your client will should remain incarcerated during the proceedings?
Well, I can't say, but I know the bond is excessive, and it should not be she alone bearing the brunt of the bond that is set by the court. The bond should be underwritten by all of the defendants because they are held jointly. They are not held jointly and severally. They are held jointly. It means that all 50 of them should post the $8 million bond. In the face of $2.3 million already before the court, Madam Phyna Bono, my client, should not be allowed, should not be under the law allowed to post an $8 million bond alone. So that bond is excessive and it's a violation of her rights for which we are seeking remedy at law.
All right, we'll get back to you, Council. I see Ambassador Dimas Wasakimeyaya. Any comments from you, Ambassador? No comments. We see Madam Bondo here is in tears. She's wearing all white. She has declined to speak because her lawyer is here. But not any legal question, Madam Bondo. Just a personal question. If you can permit her to answer, how do you feel at this moment as a person, someone who once served as Chief of Protocol Executive Mansion, being here before the Monrovia Central Prison, as your lawyer said, sheriffs are en route. How do you feel as a person being here at this moment?
Nobody can take,
honestly,
nobody can be excited
for some time now I decided not to talk.
Let's listen to her first.
But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. That are en route. How do you feel as a person?
Honestly, for some time now, I decided not to talk. But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
some time now I decided not to talk. But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you.
God. All glory belongs to God. But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my
being here at this moment.
Honestly, for some time now, I decided not to talk. But at this point in time, I say all glory belongs to God. All glory belongs to God. I came on my own right before my lawyer could come. And I'm waiting, ready, to God alone be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Madam Bono. There are a few words.
So immediately she finds herself in the compound, the Monrovia Central Prison, where she is presently. And her lawyer said that they are working out another legal plan to have her released from prison. They will secure or give put forth to the judge an improved bond, rather, so that she's out. But until then, while they are working out the legal modalities, as per the law, she has to be in custody or in prison or jail, whichever way it is called, where she is presently. Here's the second side of that whole Phinabonu stuff. What I can say, given my observation, our reading of the whole situation, she was betrayed by the people whom at the 11th hour she felt that it was necessary to put her trust in. They betrayed her, they fooled her, they used her, and they dumped her. They persuaded her, they fooled her, they used her, and they dumped her. If you look at Phinabono's countenance, she soon realized that I shouldn't have treaded the path that I treaded. My expression in the funeral or at the funeral was not right. The people I depended on, the people I placed my hope, my trust in, are the ones now. Now, who handed her over? It's just the situation with Jesus and Judas. The situation with Jesus and Peter. The people say, oh, when I betrayed you, oh, you know, you are our kissy sister. You are our kissy sister. No problem. President Boakai, you know, he's our godfather, Alofa County. Calm down. We will do everything we can to protect you, and on and on. Your father is no more. You cannot stay away weeping over the grieving of your father. Over the death of your father. You have to come down, bury your father. Don't worry. We'll do everything we can to protect you. It was that impression they gave Phinabono that she came down knowing that these guys are going to protect her. But she did not know that these Unity Party guys had different intent. They had different intent. If you consider anybody who actually betrayed Phinabono, that the man she bent down to, she did not know she was bowing down to the devil in white gown at the funeral. She did not know that the man she considered the uncle, the man who told her that you are my own, I take you as my own, the man she bowed down to, the man she spoke kissy to in the church, that the man who handed her, that today, right now, she's in jail. That everything they were doing over there was just to persuade her, weaken her, gave her the impression that they will protect her, and at the end of the day, where she finds herself. Listen, look how it happened at the court. They raised the bond. They raised the bond, which makes it or made it practically impossible for securing who will put their property forth. They raised the bond to $8 million United States dollars. In monetary terms, the bond, the Unity Party government raised the bond to $8 million. They even wanted to take it to between 10 and 11 million. But they had some discussions according to our intel in the court. They said it is an appreciable number. 8 million, which makes it practically impossible. There where they had the huge now, no option. Or the option was go to jail, and she in jail. The guys did not do well for her. The people she said wanted her in jail are not the people who put her in jail. They are the people who, in her opinion, did not want her in jail. They were protecting her, are the ones who put her in jail. The government, Unity Party, She felt that she had sought refuge in Unity Party with Thomas Fowler and President Boakai. That's why she went at the funeral. Instead of leaving it on a family level or just give a family tribute, she put politics into the tribute by praising President Boakai, praising Thomas Fowler, giving the impression that these people now are the savior or her saviors, so she was safe. But she didn't know that they had different plan. And that's what you see. So when we're telling you people from time to time, don't trust any Unity Party person. Don't ever risk trusting any Unity Party person. Don't ever. They will give you sweet words. They will persuade you. They will portray themselves as being good. Just how Satan going to treat Israel. He will come organizing things, being so friendly with Israel. They will take all of their everything. They put it at the disposal of the devil. They start enjoying themselves. And then at the latter part, he open up and start to slaughter. That's what you're saying. So they made Finabono to believe that you are safe. Nothing going to happen to you. That case wouldn't go further. So calm down. When you finish burying your father, we know what to do. She too, she sat in that place or stood in the place, gave a political tribute. And she even placed the government in an embarrassing position. So even if the government wanted to help her, a Unity Party people wanted to help her, no way. Because she imputed politics into the tribute. This thing here about condemning another person because you're in the presence of the person you think is a good person, it's not helping people in this country. People think that when you come out and condemn or say all manner of things against CDC or your former party, then you will get the full recognition, support, and protection of the current establishment. People have to stop that thing. It hasn't helped people. It will not help you. Where she is today, the very Unity Party people put her in jail. She said her own people. She did not say Unity Party people. Own people means my own CDC. That CDC she was referring to. She said her own people wanted her in jail. Now, who sent her to jail? That's not seditions, not CDC. CDC people stood with her. They stood by her along the way. When her father died, the very moment the announcement came out that her father died, CDC people were there, CDC officials, they were there. Calls came from everywhere. She cannot deny that. Calls came from everywhere. The entire preparation, CDC was involved. Ask Jangako, the party's chairman. He has the entire plan, the itinerary. At the wakekeeping or removal, CDC officials were there. At the funeral service, CDC officials were there. Seditians were outside the church with the flag in support of her. So how can these people want you in jail? Anybody who wants a person in jail will cut off all ties, all connection, will have nothing to do with that person at all. Whether the person exists or not, they have no time. But her party stood with her. Her supporters stood with her. But because Unity Party, I call that party the devil's party because that's how the devil operates. The devil makes you to feel that he is a figment of imagination, that he's not a bad person, that he isn't going to do bad thing to you, so that you come closer to him, he gets to know you more, know your weakness when you trust him fully, and not thinking about anything, but put your entire mind, body, soul into him, then he destroys you. That's how Unity Party people look. That's why I call them the devil's party. When you hear me using the expression devil's party, in the characteristics of the devil, how he operates, he get people to believe in that he's this person, he's that person, he's not this. When you put your life into his hand, he destroys you. Why you think Jesus said he comes to do this, do that? Jesus said he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come, meaning don't trust him. But he will make you to think that you should trust him. That's how Unity Party look. They made her to believe that she's safe, that everything was okay. Look what they have done to her. The only thing they did not do was to put handcuff on her hand. They did not handcuff her, but they put her in jail. They put her in jail. And I think they're going to work out something. They're going to work out something, or they are working out something. And I don't think she's going to stay long in jail. She will be released in the fullness of time. She's not going to take long in jail. No, I'm not convinced that Phyna Bono will take long in jail. She wouldn't. She will be free. And thank God Almighty, her party is still standing with her in the midst of it all. You saw D. Maxwell Kimaya there. You saw Kai Fale and other seditions there on the ground. They continue to stand with her. While she in jail, she will be communicating with her people, and seditions are still in support of her. In spite of what happened, you seditions are friends of Phyna Bono and everybody. You don't give up on her just yet. You don't use words, rain all kinds of insults on her. No, she is still a sedition. She's still a supporter of the party. Don't forget now, she is President Weah daughter. President Weah took her from down the line when she was nowhere. Situation can cause people to change. Situation cause people to say things that they don't really plan to say. There are several instances in the Bible as Phyna Bono's situation today. It is against that backdrop I say you leave it. You got to look at it from Weah's standpoint. Weah is not in support of what is happening to Phyna Bono. He's not. And I'm sure he has spoken to her. The statement will not come out that President Weah called Phyna Bono and they talk XYZ, but I'm sure he has spoken to her and he told her what is what. That's why I'm confident that she's not going to take long in jail. The lawyers are working. They are working out the modalities. She might sleep there tonight, but I don't think she will sleep there on tomorrow, Wednesday. No, I think she will come out on tomorrow, because between now and early tomorrow, they will have secured an improved bond. So you want to look at this whole situation in the context of George Weah taking Phyna Bono from nowhere when she was small, nurturing her, bringing her up. Weah isn't vexed with Phyna Bono. Unity Party people just try to portray it that way, like the two people have fallen apart. Listen, too many people, high profile, more than Phyna Bono, they turned their back on Weah. They left Weah. They said all manner of things. Weah has never, ever held it against them. Listen, if Weah should not have people who left Weah, that you say, oh, people leave, oh, people this, people that, and so I would never, ever have anything to do with them or even come around. There are a couple of individuals. One of them is Eugene Nambwe. Eugene Nambwe left Weah. Eugene Nambwe said all manner of things against Weah. Today, who is Eugene Nambwe? Eugene Nambwe is Weah chief of office staff. And I can name several of them. And Weah, when you said in from Weah, you bring up Weah, will explain more. He doesn't hold it. He's not holding anything against Finabono. People have the right to express themselves. It's based on the situations that people say what they say. And you who know that the person may have said it the way he or she said it, then you tend to be the counselor for that person now. In this situation, Finabono is down. She's frustrated. She hurt. Yeah, she said, oh, her own people wanted her in jail. But you think that statement was just a normal statement? You think normally Finabono would say that? No, she was under some kind of pressure. She was under some kind of political or persuasive spell. Right now, Finabono can say that. You stand before Finabono now, you tell her to say that statement, she can never, ever say it. She will never. I want to believe over the hours, she regretted why she made that statement. So I beg you, please, supporters of CDC, seditions, supporters of George Weah, you people, your leave, Fina, your help to console her. She's down right now. We can be while she's down, she's looking for way out. Then we're joining Unity Party people to break her down more. If anybody that should be standing with Finabono, in spite of what happened, what she said, is CDC. And that's why CDC officials are standing with her. You saw Maxwell Kimaya there. You know what it would have meant for Finabono? If no CDC officials were around from the court to the prison, you know what it would have meant for her? And you know what it would have meant in terms of joy for the Unity Party. They would have ran with that today more than any other thing. The same thing we say, oh, you see what the woman say? None of the CDC officials were her at the court, oh, they carrying the woman to prison. No CDC official were her. That's what they were going to run with. But because they saw CDC officials at the court with Fina, they saw CDC officials at the prison, they didn't get anything to say. So I beg you, please, when somebody is down, let's serve as counselor to that person. It doesn't say that when you're big, you can make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. All of us say things, and we just didn't mean to say it. But the situation can force you to say some things sometime, especially when you find yourself in a difficult situation like what she's in, and you want to get out. And people come along and say, oh, madam, we can help you to get out. This thing ain't anything. Politics is deep, let me tell you. Sure, they will say, oh, okay, but then you need to do this, you need to do that. You need to say this, you need to say that. And because the person is traumatized and the person wants to get out of that difficult situation, will end up doing it with the intent that when he or she does it, there will be freedom. I want to believe that's the reason why she did it. And then what happened? It just didn't work for her. The very people who persuaded her to say those things are the people who left from behind her and they saw her going to jail. Did you see any Unity Party people around her? Well, at the funeral, they were all around because they felt that she needed to make a public statement, and they say the funeral would be the best place to make the public statement, the political statement, rather. So she made a political statement now. It's done. They're gone. They're gone. Just how Satan ran away from Adam and Eve in the garden. He said, oh, look, come on, you need to do this. You need to do that. By the time they did it, Satan was gone. He left them on their own. That's what you see of Unity Party. Oh, madam, make the statement. Say this, say that. At the end of the day, they knew what was going to happen. So what do you see? All of them abandoned Finabono. Now nobody to speak Kisito, nobody to bend down, and say, Papa, that you like the way she bent down to Thomas Fala, and start speaking Kisi to him. Thomas Fala, no, nowhere around. Unity Party, nowhere around. They just watched on the screen, saw her going to jail. Who stood with her? The CDC. I beg you, please. She's traumatized. You don't blame her. She finds herself in between the rock and the hard place. In a situation like this, you want to serve as that guiding counselor for her. It's not easy on her right now. It's not easy. Take her situation another way you can understand it, even though she didn't leave. But you have to look at it. It had some of the characteristics of the prodigal son in the Bible. When the son messed up, what did God do? God knew that it was just an emotional decision he took. He left. And so God served as the counselor, said, no problem. I hold nothing against you. Come back, we'll be together. So hold nothing against Phinehas Bono. Wait until very soon President Weah will be back in the country. Very soon he will be back in the country. Seditions, you wait. You start blasting her, you start saying all manner of things. Remember now, the Bible says a house divided against itself cannot stand. Unity Party goal, the goal of the Unity Party government is to crumble CDC going into 2029. They've succeeded in getting Phinehas Bono in jail. They on Samuel Twe. They succeeded in getting other people off CDC, and those people are condemning CDC, condemning George Weah. We've told you before we left Front Street, we've been saying this thing before we left Central Monrovia to come here. This is a political warfare. In a political warfare, your opponent will not give you chance. Especially when your opponent feels that he has the advantage, he will do anything to bring you down. And that is what you're saying with Unity Party. They are in power right now. They control the courts. They control the police. They control the military. They control the immigration. They control everything. They have all of the political machineries at their disposal. The opposition can only march up against the government with only one weapon. Only one weapon, only one stone. And that stone is unity holding together. Don't take pleasure in lambasting your own because Unity Party has done this, Unity Party are doing, oh, Phinehas Bono did, oh, Phinehas Bono that. She never allowed people to see George Weah. She took enough money. All those things will not help you. When you say those things, it will not change your condition. It will not change anything on you. It will not put extra money that you wanted from Weah at that time, if you ever wanted money from Weah or CDC. It will not put that money in your pocket. Your condition remains the same as you struggle to improve your life. So it makes no sense, in my opinion, that we continue to blast her and say all manner of things. We only analyze it the way we analyze it as per our profession, that statement she made. But we are not in support of what is happening to her. We know that it's a political game. We know that Unity Party, from the one, again, let me go back. We've been saying it before we left Central Monrovia or Monrovia to come on the side, that Unity Party goal is to get to George Weah. If they cannot get to George Weah, let's get to all of those strong men and women around George Weah. Once we can break down George Weah's cycle, George Weah would be paralyzed for 2029. The goal is 2029. The goal is 2029. They know that George Weah is the only formidable opposition leader. The people are not afraid of Simeon Freeman. They are not afraid of Musa Bilete. They are not afraid of Tewan Gonglo. They are not afraid of any opposition person. The only person and name they are afraid of is George Weah. That is why they are bringing on all those things against George Weah. Since we can get to him in this political warfare, let's come to his people. Let's bring down his people one by one, because it is normal. It is normal. When a king is losing his generals, you know what's going to happen? Destiny will have to decide the king's fate. And that is, the king will have to either take a decision to get fully involved, be alone, fight the battle to the end, or surrender. You have to look at it from that point. When we're telling you people, this is how this thing works. The goal is to get to Weah, and they know that they cannot in any way get to George Weah. Constitutionally, they can't get to George Weah. There is no claim they can bring against George Weah. It is clear that the Constitution provides all of those immunities. They can't get to George Weah. They can't say, George Weah, you did it, we come and put you on trial, we send in police people for you to carry to jail. They can't do it. Because our law does not provide for that. But since the law protects the former president, they say we lead our own. But this former president here is huge politically. He has the people. He has the influence. This man is formidable enough. So since we can get to him constitutionally, he's covered, he's prevented, let's get to the guys around him. Once we can break his cycle, he will be powerless. That's the goal. That's the game Unity Party is playing here. And stay, people, you're not understanding. Just stop lambasting Phyna. Whatever is happening to Phyna, she will come out of it. She's not the first person. She will come out of it. Even if she came out and say, I'm supporting CDC again, I'm going to Joseph Yema Boakai, we bless her. We pour our blessing upon her and let her go. How many of you, when Kings FM was opening as per the relocation and President Weah took the podium to speak, what did he say in there? He named people that left him. And what did he say? He said he always respected people's right. If you find it necessary to go, fine. If you find it necessary after you leave to come back, he's still open to accepting you. Meaning he does not despise or presses upon people to stay at all costs. He does not impose his will on people. No. Not at all. So I beg you, yeah, please. You don't insult her. You don't say all manner of things to her. She's traumatized right now. She's down. She needs your prayers, your consolations, your consoling words. Don't join Unity Party people to say all manner of things against her. Don't get on social media. You're blasting her. That's what Unity Party people want to hear. The people are excited. When they hear you blasting your own, saying all manner of things, they are excited because it works in their favor. It's an advantage for them and disadvantage for you. You want to come back. They are in power. They don't want to leave. So they prefer that your house is in disarray while their house is united. That way they can defeat you 2029. Then let's go to this one, the second pointer. Then we move to the next one. Let's go here.
It's full bags. So it's full bags. This is a poncho. See a coat. Yeah, do them concerning anything. Don't be on it. P-L-T-L.
Take a picture of them. Those guys. Those two followers.
Now we are going to the gas.
There, you see the guy. You see the guy, please. You see the guy? The government announced today 157 million cocaine, 157 million. Already, the country has this 19.2 million. And now they announced today that they've discovered and intercepted and seized 157 million United States dollars cocaine in Liberia. This, the government say, not King's FM, not King's FM saying it. This one here, yeah, the man, that the government brought him here, white man, and I'm black man. Sorry if I'm sounding racist. Yeah, white man. And you see him? Two nationalities the government call Spanish and Colombian, or Spain and Colombia. You see the guy? His house. You see the other guy? Yeah, the other guy on the ground. They're handcuffed. The first white man, the second white man. The government say Colombian, Spanish, but you also have it, they are mixed. Colombian, Spanish, Lebanese, all of them. You see that? And you see the two of them? You see the two? They, one all in black, turned his face to the wall. They didn't want the media or the public to see his face. You see the other one on the ground, bend his head down. They are not saying they are not involved. They are not saying they don't know about it. The cocaine, the consignment of cocaine. I say cocaine because in different parcels, different bags in their plates. You can see the guy face clearly now. So this came out today. The government announced the discovery of 157 million United States dollars cocaine, far higher than the 90 million. That's what they said today. Good. So, hear what I'm going to say about this, and then we move. Not going to talk about this much, but let me speak directly to you Unity Party supporters. Tani, UPist, Unity Party government officials, and other people whom the very Unity Party in opposition made to believe that it was George Weah that was bringing the drug in the country. What can you people say now? In your government, under your president, Joseph Yoman Boakai, what can you people say? Are you people still believing that George Weah was the one who bringing the drugs in the country and George Weah still bringing drugs in country? You people believe it still? You people now singing that song, or you drop that song? The pastors who were all around the place, the politicians, the civil society actors, some of the journalists, pro-government journalists, then in opposition, that were running all over, writing articles about George Weah. George Weah is this, George Weah is that. The CDC government is noted for drug. They are all drug jails. All kinds of stuff you people were saying. Civil society people, different kinds. What can you people say now? This is not a plus. If anybody would think that this is a plus for the government, you are a pathological, you are, sorry to say, but you are a beast. The government now making you to think that they are more concerned and they are raiding the country of drugs. No, what it says is the government had been weak, the country had been vulnerable, drugs have always come into this country, but because they wanted to come to power, they said that it was a good message and they used it. Here you are. They made the fool out of, they brought the fool out of you, they brought the stupidity out of you, they made the clowns out of you, they did everything. I will say it this way, because you had not the least inkling to come up and say, but how possible? How can a president drug a whole country? Didn't President Salif have drug in this country? Didn't we have President Salif government with drugs? Didn't before President Salif, didn't we have Charles Taylor government with drugs? How can they tell us that George Weah was the one bringing the drugs into the country? These drugs now were brought into this country for what? These drugs were brought into the country for trading and for distribution. Some of your children that already gone under the ground in a Unity Party regime from drugs, that one you see so. Some of your boys, your girls that gone crazy, that you see them on the street, you shame to identify that he is your son or she is your daughter. That from here, the Unity Party government. And that today, George Weah left government, he left the presidency ever since. Look at the boys and girls on the street with drugs. They fresh, new. It is a shame. Nobody should interpret it as a plus for the government. The government is only trying to bring the shame out of itself. And they are telling you how they saw you as stupid, as dull, and they saw you as clowns. What is the plus? This is not a plus. That be outside the government. We are raiding the country of a cartel, dismantling drug cartel. When the people penetrating, government officials are allegedly involved. Look at this thing. How is it? How can you believe that the government is fighting, that the government is climbing down? You got 19.2 million. You don't finish with it. Then you gone. You have about 157 million. Look at that. And you think, come on, man. 19.2 million. You don't finish it yet. The country is still battling with that. The investigation, no hit, no tea. It's just going that kind of way. Then 157 million count on it. You don't finish with the first one. Then a higher one count. How are you going to deal with it? So what is it now? Because that's how I thought to share this thing here. People, for me, it's not a plus. The government should not give you the impression that they're climbing down on drugs. The more they talk, the more the drugs in. So you know what happening? The people in trust the government, they fear rather. The people in fear the government, the drug people, they fear the government. Why they fear the government? Because they know exactly how it is going. They're conjugating the verb. That's why the drug is still around. That's why the people are not afraid. Look at those people. Those are white skins, Colombian, Spanish, Lebanese. And you know how the government had always said that they're doing this, they're doing that. If anybody is caught with Jordan. So why these people comfortably trading? Because they have never feared the government. Because they know what's up. So what can they say now? You United Party, turning supporters, government officials who even know. You claim to be educated, but you don't have second thought. Somebody just tell you something and you believe it. So that George Weah staying in power, that George Weah still bringing the drugs in the country, that George Weah still bringing it in the country, Bwaka pastors, you're the pastor, Bwaka bishops then, that you're all over the place now, that George Weah still bringing the drugs in the country because you will get in your pulpit, you will start talking indirectly in your sermon to George Weah, how you're drugging the children of this country, the young people this, the young people that, the Bwaka government, this, the country has never, ever experienced that kind of substantial drugs. Why, yesterday, why they people talking about Kush? That Kush they were running all around with. Kush is just one of those things and again the just so those petty things. I looking. The reason the beginning of going down with it because they were overdosing themselves. Who are telling me, man? They say, somebody was explaining a story that a middle-aged guy gone. He opted to use himself as a tester. That the drug a friend is trying to test it. They wanted to know the power of it. Stupid man too. He said, yeah, he presented himself as a tester. Right after the test, he didn't know how he was on the ground. The foam started coming from his mouth and his nose. Just recently, I think that last week, they were sharing that story with me. And at Bogota, that somebody's son there, he gone. The mind, the power, they know. That Bogota, he died. But they made you United Party people to believe that during Ellen's time, nobody was dying of drugs. George Weah time, Charles Taylor time, nobody was dying of drugs. Ellen's time, nobody was dying of drugs. Only George Weah time. That's what they made you to believe. So look at it now. Look at how bad off it is. George Weah time, according to them, that Kush we're hearing, yeah, Kush is petit. Kush that petit drug. Cocaine, wow. One of the most dangerous drugs. That is why when a country notice that you trade in such, they cut off all ties with you. You think extra thing the government doing? No. The government just telling the international community how the country is infested with drugs, with cocaine. That what they're telling the country and the international community, nothing extra. They're making extra announcement of anything positivity? Certainly not. They're only telling the world and the country that Liberia under the United Party government is vulnerable. Early time, we never saw 19.2 million cocaine. We never even knew about anything called cocaine. Throughout early 12 years, we heard about Kush, we heard about the other one, but not cocaine of this, not cocaine and cocaine of such magnitude. We never heard about 157 million. We never heard about anything called narcotics or narco state. That the government time. Early time. We never saw white man, Spanish man, Colombian, Lebanese drug in it. Even if we were doing it, we were on the ground. Because they feared the system at the time. That the government, yeah, they didn't want to also. They didn't want in their announcement. They say Lebanese, Colombian, Spanish, that they didn't want. They didn't want in a drug in it. But they are not in it alone. They are not in it alone. They must have been, or they should be helped, or they are being helped by certain people. Certain people. They must be helped by certain people within the government. So you see, when the people say the drug been here, government officials are allegedly involved. These people now in court, they will reveal the names of those people if they are doing it alone, if it is between them, their syndicate, Lebanese, Colombian, Spanish, they'll say, but if they are doing it in concert with some Liberian government officials, it will be known. And I think this 1 year, they won. The player rich, I think they will be forced to call Liberian people name, Liberian officials, if they are involved. If, please listen to me carefully, if they are involved. If they 19.2 million, they stay doing Didi Bawe A, carrying it all around, bringing people then who even the unborn child knows that they're not connected to it, because they won't bring the real people name. Thank God Almighty, 157 million has added onto the 19.2 million. I said, Emmanuel, but please do the mathematics for me. 157 million plus 90. Oh, UP government draw waste, cocaine waste, rather not draw, cocaine waste in the UP government. Nonsense. Your UP supporters, you're open your oral cavity now. You'll be screaming all over the place. You UP supporters, everywhere. You're open your oral cavity, meaning your mouth. You'll be shouting all over the place. We are bringing drug in the country. We are bringing drug in the country. You're open your mouth now. Your Boaga pastors and your Boaga bishop, your Boaga day. You're open your mouth, then your tongue and nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed. That's why when you hear something, when somebody telling you something, you must have a second thought. Well, let me just listen to the thing here and analyze it for myself. Does it really, is it true that George Weah, the one who have been bringing drugs to the country, George was not in the country before George Weah came to power? There are no drug in the country at all. So you mean the thing people talking, that true thing that only George Weah brought drug in the country? None of you attempted, because the people saw fools in you, they saw stupidity in you, they saw clowns in you, so they use you. Yeah. And a draw, a draw. It's staying in the country. It's all over. See people, see young boy, young girls, they're going ziggy zaga, they're dying, they're going crazy. That's all I can say to you about it. I'm not concerned about government or announcement or government breakthrough or government making breakthrough. It's not my concern. In a situation like this, then you want to put it back to the people now that you truly believe a couple of years back that it was George Weah who was bringing the drugs, as Unity Party people told you. We should not be talking about cocaine, one of the highest, one of the most dangerous drugs, one of the drugs that have billions of dollars. No reason why we're hearing all kind of things. Budget go to 1.2 billion. They're doing the other one. They're doing that other one. So they know what's up. Then they're acting. But my concern is on you people. You people that they used. You're opening your oral cavity and call them mouth. Nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Somebody says something, then you just believe it. Look at your own government. Your own government, you can't say anything. In your civil society people, you can't say anything. You're pro-government journalists, you're ashamed. You can't say anything. Pro-government pastors, pro-unity pastors and bishops and apostles and prophets, you can't say anything again. You're ashamed. Your own president made you shame. After you took drug tests, that sham there, that scam. You think when the president taking drug tests, That means no drug in the country. Look what has happened to the country. 157 million has come again. You know what how the war see Liberia? They're going to bring, you know, the kind of thing, the actions that countries coming to take against Liberia. But we said, thank God Almighty, God has a way of exonerating his innocent. Thank God. God has exonerated George Weah. Thank God Almighty. That's what God meant when he said, count it all joy when they bring all manner of things against you. That's what he meant. And James, the introduction of James, he said, count it all joy if you fall in diverse temptation. Within diverse temptations, lies. People will say all manner of things against you. They will make people to believe that you are the bad person. Thank God Almighty that God exonerated George Weah with Romans 12:19. In Romans 12:19, what did he say? He said, vengeance is mine. Don't say anything to anybody in return. Don't attempt to do anything against anybody because they have said, I will avenge on your behalf. And that's what you're saying. So God is avenging on George Weah's behalf. And every one of you people who believe that to be true, because you felt that you needed to believe it because they made you to believe it. And so you're feeling it now. And all those who intentionally did it, that's what God in heaven exposing them in their very government under their very president. What can Joseph Boakai say? He can never say anything. He doesn't have the face. He doesn't have the guts. He doesn't have the balls. In opposition, he was screaming all over the place. What the man claimed, man, I will find that clip that he said something about it. George Weah of the drug business. I will find it. When it calls on, I will find it in a place. So you're here, the Joseph Boakai man. What can he say today? He's president for the country now. God gave him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. The most dangerous time. The most dangerous time. And this thing could affect Liberia badly. Nothing good coming off the country but drug, cocaine. Under the rescue government, whoever thought this was going to happen? Nothing good coming off the United Party government but cocaine. What a shame. What a disgrace. You United Party supporters, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You're screaming, shout all over the place now. We are killing our children in the country. We are killing our children in the country. The man just bringing joy in the country. The man here. So what do you say about your president now? Your president Boakai, what do you say about him? He doing what now? He doing what? You think that president can bring joy in the country? Too many people operating in different ways. Not everything the president does or the president knows about it. But because they were going against George Weah and they needed you to be used because they saw the fools, the clowns in you. So they use it and say, George Weah bringing that George Weah killing your children. Today, the party chairman that said the entire country was infested with drugs because of the CDC government, the United Party pastor chairman, Luther Tappe, why he can say today the country is infested with drugs under Joseph Yema Boakai, especially cocaine. Why he can say, you think God can sleep? The country people say God can sleep. And that's true. That's true. God can sleep. God expose you. He still exposing you. And he will continue to expose you until some of you will be walking your fall down. Some of you will go to sleep or not wake up. Because they think they lie your brother against George Weah. God can avenge in different ways. Different ways God can avenge. That's why he said, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, meaning just leave it. Leave it with me. I will do the rest. I will expose them. Shame on y'all. Big shame. They say they're making an announcement, they arrest. Who asked you for an announcement? We know that the government is cooking government. Nobody asked you for an announcement. Everyone knows that the government is cooking government. The government code name now is cooking government. You say you arrest drug, you carrying it. Yeah. They still raising morale. Sorry, I can't get this on the screen because of time. I have to give you a chance. You see it? They say they're carrying the cocaine. That cocaine there. They're carrying it. Too many questions. We come in, start asking the hard questions about this quote unquote cocaine. Cocaine, 157 million. They say they're carrying it. Why they carrying it? Thank God Almighty. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, Papa God, you can sleep, oh. Papa God, you are a good God. You are a fair God, impartial God. Yes. They want? Wow. Oh. Yaka. They want by a choke. A choke our men. And not easy. Yeah. A choke our men. What a man. What the other man, even though you saw the man on the screen, they say, the man will call people. The man from a certain country. They will call people. They're not alone. It is a syndicate. It's a syndicate. And they are not alone. Let them be there. They're raising morale. They discover cocaine. The discovery of names coming. Discovery of names. All right, man. So let's move to what unfolded today at the court, Temple of Justice. Prior to today, the judge was scheduled to hand down his ruling, and Samuel Twere accused the vice president. He accused the vice president, Jeremiah Kuhn, of being the mastermind of to overturn the verdict, the acquittal verdict, meaning he was set free, and that a retrial, the case must be retried. And that retrial means that the jurors, now they will select, the jurors will have no option because they will be operating on fear. And so they will bring that guilty verdict against Samuel Twere. Then he will go to jail. He accused the VP of being involved, of being the mastermind. He said that George Fekar spoke with his brother. Samuel Twere, biological brother, is Norris Twere. Norris Twere is the vice president for UL relations at the University of Liberia. Norris Twere is Samuel Twere's biological brother. Norris Twere is a lawyer too. Samuel Twere said that the judge spoke with his biological brother, George Usman Fekar spoke with his biological brother and told him that he found no evidence of juror tampering. But given that he is under pressure, that his life is at risk, his family life is at risk, he will have no option but to overturn the acquittal verdict and then call for a new trial. There, if Samuel Twere is free, fine, but it is going to be very unlikely that Samuel Twere will be free, that he will be found guilty, and he will go to jail. That's what he said. Let's have a listen. He was on Spoon Talk last night, and he made that clear.
In front of my lawyer brother. My brother Norris went to see him. He said, he wants to see the judge. The judge told him, Norris, this country is wicked. I don't know what Samuel Twere did. He said that.
He said people are after his life is in danger, and he doesn't know what's going on. That was about 2-3 weeks ago. He sent for my brother again and said, no, I regret to announce that unfortunately, I will have to overturn your brother. And my brother said, but you and I spoke 3 weeks ago, you were talking something different. He said, well, the good thing is that Samuel Twe and none of his lawyers are involved in any jure tempore. But I do have evidence that there was a phone. And so since there was a phone, there was one phone there, when Samuel Twe put it there, Samuel Twe put it there, when Fire put it there, Fire put it there, there's a ground for dismissing the case. I said, no, you can't do that. And now he's talking to different people. When we're in the government, we're having a conversation, and I think it will be okay for Twe. The judge wants to do the right thing, but I think he's not strong enough to resist the government because the government pressure is overwhelming.
And exactly, just as the explanation went, that's what happened. Please share the show. Share it as many times as you can. We are reaching into a very serious time. We are at the threshold of our political life going into 2029. Let people know what is unfolding. That's why we are in the age of technology. Share the show as many times as you can all around. Let people know what is unfolding in the narco state or cocaine state under the Unity Party government. So as he said, it happened. It happened. As he said, it happened. Just as he explained, it happened. The case we have all known, it has a political implication, a witch hunt. So, just as he said, the judge did just that today. The judge ordered the arrest of all of the jurors, ordered the arrest. 1, 2, he set aside the case. That means it's going to be heard. He avoided saying overturn, but that's what it means. Everybody understood that. Overturn, meaning it will be tried again. So everything that was done at first, the judge said, come on, it made no sense. That whole thing we put in the aside. We put you on trial again. You, Samuel Twe, the judge, the jurors now, we will select our own Unity Party jurors because that's what it means. We'll select our own Unity Party jurors. We will have our Unity Party judge presiding, and they will find you guilty and you will go to jail. I've told you people over and over before we left Front Street. We've been talking this thing. Unity Party government wants a case. They want to make a case. They have failed in the fight against corruption. They have done nothing. President Bouaka has blundered everywhere. Every area of the fight in corruption, President Bouaka has blundered. There is confused atmosphere hovering this government. So what they want to do is to have a big shot in their net. And that will be their message. The same thing we have always said repeatedly. People are now getting the understanding that when they have a big shot in their net, they can use that as a good message for the fight against corruption. Secondly, the goal is to get George Weah cycle dismantled, that George Weah cycle be paralyzed, so that going into 2029, between 2028 2029, there will be nobody left around George Weah to control anything. Then they will have a free ride. The whole thing here is to dismantle Weah's base. That's Unity Party plan. That's why when I'm telling you this is a political warfare, let's hold together this thing together. You people just don't believe it yet. You're still waiting for 2029. 2029, we're moving. 2029, we're moving. 2029 is still far. What are you doing now? The people are not waiting for 2029. 2029 will come because 2029 is divine. God said 2029. Just as God said today, 21st day of July, God said this, and we in the 21st day. What are you doing today while you are waiting for 2029? It's not just making an announcement, 2029, we're moving. Yes, it's obvious, 2029, you're moving, but you have to work towards 2029. They are working towards 2029 now by dismantling your base. What are you doing to keep your base afloat? What are you doing to keep your base intact? That's what they are doing. Two things. That let's get someone big from George Weah camp, and then we'll use that as a good message. Whenever we're talking about the government fight against corruption, that Samuel Tuah is this, from George Weah government, he was the Minister of Finance and Development Planning. He controls the physical space of the country, the monetary atmosphere, and he did this, he did that. And the people will believe. The next thing, given that Samuel Tuah is a strong supporter of George Weah, a diehard supporter of George Weah, a diehard supporter of CDC, the base will be losing one of its strong men. If they succeeded in getting Samuel Tuah into jail, it's not going to be like the other ones when they go to jail, they stand on the freedom. They will do everything they can. Even if it is bearable, if the bond is around 6 million, they will carry it to 15. If it's around 15, they will carry it to 200. Just so Samuel Tuah will be in jail until 2020 and they'll be using that. That is why when we're telling you people, when you leave CDC, you close your mouth. But when you leave, instead of shutting your mouth, you're screaming all day. Joe, we are not there. CDC not there. ZZ not there. ZZ not there. ZZ not there. Yeah. The other one, United Party people want to hear. The other one, the government wants to hear. Though the government is failing, but they use those things to cover up their failures. So the judge today now said all of those jurors, he ordered their arrest. So let's put this in context. He ordered the arrest. To order the arrest, it means there was a probable cause or there was truly evidence of tampering, and that all of them colluded or all of them were involved. Therefore, they would now be subjected to investigation. All of them will be subjected to extra investigation. Why extra investigation? I'm just reading into his legal opinion. Why extra investigation? Because they want to do something extra. The investigation involved all of the jurors. So he found that something happened. That's what led him to say he's setting aside, meaning he overturned it. So what is he calling the jurors for again? To say, you come on and say this, say this, say that, so that it will give weight to my verdict? Why are you calling the guys them? Or he ordered their arrest? Is he going to jail them? Is he going to jail them? Why was the investigation done in closed door? So the whole thing that Samuel Tuah said, that somebody is behind this thing to get him in jail. You can see it. So what's going to happen now? You don't need Daniel for any interpretation. You don't need any legal person for any interpretation. You don't need angel for interpretation. You don't even need to go to God. Know that it is clear. If there is a retrial, Samuel Tuah, all the jurors, or even you put 1 million jurors, the 1 million juror will bring guilty verdict against Samuel Tuah. All of the jurors they will select will be jurors that will work at the detail of the government. Nobody will dare try to be independent. They will operate in an insecure manner or atmosphere, they will be concerned about their safety, their security, their life. So it will be, if you don't bring a guilty verdict down against Samuel Tuer, you either lose your son or your daughter. You either lose your life. Choose between your daughter or your life. Choose between your son or your life. Choose between your ailing mother or your father. You see how those movies that we watch, you see how they do it. They call the jurors, they say something, they threaten. So when the jurors go there, they ain't get an option. They'll just say guilty, guilty, because that's what the power that B wants. And that's what's going to happen. Should Samuel Tuer give in, there is a new trial. Samuel Tuer will be found guilty. You take 100 million jurors. The 100 million will rule against Samuel Tuer. And the judge will announce that ruling, that guilty verdict, in less than a second. And every Unity Party person will be happy. Remember now, they were very sure. They were very sure from the beginning of the case that Samuel Tuer was going in jail. Before the jurors were assembled, Unity Party supporters, Unity Party government officials were all over the place. He will go to jail for a lifetime. They stole money from this country. They were saying all kinds of things. They were even putting Samuel Tuer. They created a cartoon putting Samuel Tuer in the red suit, or how they call it, orange suit. On the day of the announcement, they were very hopeful again. They flooded social media. When a non-guilty verdict was brought down against Samuel Tuer, all of them got sick, frustrated. Some of them went drinking loosely. Some of them went cursing. You saw how they started insulting, threatening the justice minister. The justice minister went and accepted on behalf of the judiciary, or the executive rather, the justice minister accepted and said that they welcome the verdict and that they move on as a government. It serves as, or it shows how the judiciary is independent and the country is democratic. The justice minister is on record with that, with his news conference. Less than no time, some people came out. They said jury tampering. They were tampered with. The judge said, let open investigation. Even though the judge was not too sure, because he knows that those kind of things in law, you just like to go. But again, bam, some kind of pressure from on the other side. The judge did not want anything like that as far as the judge concerned. Once the justice minister came out and gave the executive position that they welcome the verdict, they welcome the decision of the court, that's the will of the justice system. They accept the result, they concede defeat, they move on. The judge was ready without him saying, come on, you'll go, man. But some kind of telephone call came. What the judge did not want to do, that's what he was forced to do. Immediately, he called for investigation. That's when you heard Councillor Arthur Johnson. That's when you heard Councillor Arthur Johnson blasting that it was wrong, that the case was political. Once the jurors are disbanded or dissolved, under the law, you can't call them back for anything whatsoever.
Once the judge or the court had disbanded the jury, the court has no jurisdiction again over the jurors. That's one. Two, assuming without admitting that at the time the jury was returned and the jury verdict was returned and there was a reading of the verdict and no one had asked for them to be disbanded. They had not yet been disbanded. The court had not taken the decision. If there was a complaint by any of the jurors or any of the lawyers from the both sides to say we have issues with the verdict and that there is an allegation of jury misconduct or jury tampering, the judge will never disband the jury. The law said the judge will not disband the jury since they are still under his jurisdiction. Since they are still under his jurisdiction, what the judge will do, he will put hold to the reading, let's say the recording of the verdict, and authorize an immediate investigation into the allegation of jury tampering because the jurors are still under his jurisdiction. But that is not the case in the Samuel Twer's issue. That is a legal issue we're talking about. This is a constitutional issue. In this case, no one complained. After the juror had read the verdict, they have read the verdict. After the verdict was recorded, the parties agreed. They asked the juror, is this your verdict? They agreed that this is our verdict. No juror at that time raised any issue. And so when the court disbanded the jury, that court, by law, has no authority. Because when you disband the jury, it means there are no more jurors. They have retired into their private lives. So you have no jurisdiction over them to call them, especially so these are jurors that were serving for the what? The February term of court. Now we're talking about the May term of court. You have no jurisdiction because the summaring of jurors is by law, is by term of court. No judge can just easily do that. Only the law authorizes that. What happened is that because we accepted to a portion of the verdict regarding the conviction of Councillor Yinati Twan and Honorable Jefferson Camo, we filed a motion for new trial for these two defendants and former officials of government. After 2 weeks, which the law says within 4 days, after 2 weeks, the day prior to the hearing of the motion for new trial, we received a citation, which was May 18, from the court, telling us that, and this is what I read, by directive of His Honor Usman N. Feka, a San Sake Judge presiding, First Judicial Circuit, Criminal Kosi, Montserrado County.
All right. So he also said, immediately after the non-guilty verdict, and the government was pressurizing the judge, which you saw today, he said it was a political maneuvering. The case was purely, or what the government was doing, purely political.
Because this is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. We cannot change the laws because of Samuel Twer. We can't do that. The country will stay. We will go. We need to be reminded by history. There were powerful people in this country. Some of us who were young, little bit in age, in the 80s, we saw people, men that we saw in this town. Certain time came, we saw them, that they were people who have never served government before.
Right. So, yeah, Samuel Twer's position after the judge gave his decision today. Samuel Twer said, today, Liberian justice and democracy took a gigantic step backwards, but men are prepared to resist this slide into anarchy. No judge, no justice, and no president can ever change my non-guilty verdict. It is etched in the history of our country. The kangaroo files handed down today is just that, a kangaroo ruling. I have instructed my legal team that my legal journey has since ended with my verdict, and I would not submit myself, and I would not submit myself, and I would not submit myself to any Supreme Court process. As such, they will file nothing. They will file nothing, meaning his lawyers. They will file nothing before the Supreme Court. We have left the law and are now in the full realm of politics. I remain a free man. This is what Samuel Twer said after that. So here's the situation now. It's going to a point where if we're not careful, it will degenerate into something. Because you know what's going to happen? The government is vexed. The government will feel defeated. The government feels that Samuel Twer is defying it, and it has the authority, it has the power, it has the guns, it has the prisoners, or the prison rather. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to send people to Samuel Tuer house. They're going to send gunmen, armed men, just like they did with Molba Molu, to force him out of his house, force him to Moravia Central Prison, and say the man is guilty. And that's going to cause a serious chaos. Sure, the government attempt that. Listen, it's going to cause a serious chaos in this country. You can tell that it is purely, you can tell the government has been vexed from day one. The government has never wanted it. The government has always wanted to put somebody in jail, and they saw no other person but Samuel Tuer. Listen, you gave this Unity Party government people gun, and you put George Weah around. Those people will shoot. There are people prepared to kill George Weah. These Unity Party people you see. So because they can't get to George Weah, they are doing everything they can to get to people around him. Well, when we're telling you how these people are wicked to the core, you sit down, you ain't see anything yet. They guys, they want something else, because that's the only option to the government now. Send armed men to Samuel Tuer house to arrest him, just as they send armed men to Molba Molu house to arrest him. That's the only thing they can do. Samuel Tuer said he will not submit himself. He told his lawyers, you don't file anything with the Supreme Court. You leave it as it is. So the challenge is, let's see now, let them come arrest me. Let them come and force me from my house. Chief, what kind of thing is this? You forced to put somebody in jail at all costs. You got Finabono, you put Finabono in jail. You tried with Samuel Tuer from day one. You never been successful. You stay behind Samuel Tuer. From Samuel Tuer now, the Magay you go to. But Magay is already on sanction, so you can't do nothing. But they will find some way to go to Magay. From Magay, they will go to Eugene Nangwe. They will say, XYZ from Maritime, this and that, all the kind of thing. They will bring their other report that they're exaggerating. Do you know that our other report that they're using some Gaswa Jackson as a stooge? He over-exaggerating report, other report. Look at how you say 98 million was squandered. 98 million. Samuel Tuer had to come back and say, no, this is how it works. They're not 98 million. Samuel Tuer broke everything down, but they made it to believe that water and sewer stuff, that the man squandered 98 million, the government squandered 98 million. Then they told the man who is about to go to jail, the man who is a criminal, who is a rogue, who stole, who almost led thousands of people to die in America, Stanton Waterspoon, he's screaming and yelling on the show that 98 million, CDC government rigged this country, CDC government this and that. That Tuer had to come on the show and say, Stanton, stop. That's misinformation. It is not 98 million. Then he gave the financial breakdown. He was speechless. If you know how to read other report, you're leaving. But back to the issue. Chief, it's how you go down there, your care EPS people, 90 million EPS trucks, you carry 9 million military people to Samuel Tuer Hustle. That the right time now, that right time, what is needed, what you should be doing in this case. This whole thing ain't got nothing to do with Samuel Tuer again. It finished. You know what we expect the judge to do in terms of legal reasoning? Those people who allow such to happen, if it ever happens, that the people you should focus on and penalize them. Clean up the judicial system. Clean out the system so that people will not infiltrate. There where you go, that's how people do things. It is not on the person. It is not overturning. You'll be setting a bad precedent. And when you continue there, you must stay in power for rack of ages. So because the day Unity Party leave power, broad day, whoever comes to power, they will be going from house to house, from office to office. Jaha Yosol in 1990 war, taking people out. So you'll stay in power for rack of ages. Unity Party, you will not move from there. Jahad Samuel Doe say he was not moving from there, but he left from there. You stay there for rack of ages. Because if you move from there, it will be too disastrous in this country. It will be one that if we're not careful, this country will go back in war again. Because the mind that people have for people in this country, especially you who in position, you who in government position, you who holding authority, that's the same thing that carry most of Samuel Doe people. They slaughter them. They slaughter them. They were not slaughtering them on because because of anything, but because of their authority, because of their position in power then. That's the same thing is happening. You must trust the court. People went to court here under we are government, the people won. They see these same United Party people in opposition. You know what they were saying? They were saying that George Weah government was weak. What kind of government? You're losing cases. Government losing cases. You ask them. There's the same Andrews. I've been in this country. I've never left this country. I've seen Ellen government, seen George Weah government, I've seen Joseph Walker government. United Party in opposition. All of them, all of these guys that are around here. That's what they were saying. They say, oh, George Weah government are weak. George Weah government, the judiciary were weak. What kind of government? You're just losing case. Because the Weah government respected the independence of the court. If they went to court and the court said it's against the government, Weah government conceded. They never forced. They never tied the George hand. They never threatened the George. They never threatened the George family that if you overturn that result, something will happen to you. So we believe what Samuel Twe said. That a certain hand was behind it, and said that if he does not overturn it against Samuel Twe, something will happen to him. We believe Samuel Twe. That what Samuel Twe said. Yes, the man when he was on Spoon Talk last night, that what Samuel Twe said. We didn't say it. We're not making up a story. We're not second guessing from anybody. Samuel Twe said it.
In front of my lawyer brother. The judge fighter from my lawyer brother in front of my lawyer brother. My brother knows went to see him. He went to see the judge. The judge told him, said, Norris, this country is weak. I don't know why what Samuel Twe did. He said that. He said people are after his life is in danger, and he doesn't know what's going on. That was that. The thing that about 2-3 weeks ago, they sent for my brother again and said, no, that unfortunately, I will have to overturn your brother. And my brother said, but you and I spoke 3 weeks ago, you were talking something different. He said, well, the good thing is that Samuel Twe and none of his lawyers are involved in any jury temporary. But I do have evidence that there was a phone. And so since there was a phone, there was one phone there, when Samuel Twe put it there, Samuel Twe put it there, when Fire put it there, Fire put it there, there's a ground for dismissing the case. I said, no, you can't do that. And now he's talking to different people. When we're in the government, we're having a conversation, and I think it will be okay for Twe. The judge fighter from my lawyer brother in front of my lawyer brother. My brother Norris went to see him. He went to see the judge. The judge told him, said, Norris, this country is weak. I don't know why what Samuel Twe did. The judge, he said that. He said people are after his life is in danger, and he doesn't know what's going on. That was that. The day posted about 2-3 weeks ago, they sent for my brother again and said, no, I regret to announce that unfortunately, I will have to overturn your brother. And my brother said, but you and I spoke 3 weeks ago, you were talking something different. He said, well, the good thing is that Samuel Twe and none of his lawyers are involved in any jury temporary. But I do have evidence that there was a phone. And so since there was a phone, there was one phone there, when Samuel Twe put it there, Samuel Twe put it there, when Fire put it there, Fire put it there, there's a ground for dismissing the case. I said, no, you can't do that. And now he's talking to different people. When we're in the government, we're having a conversation, and I think it will be okay for Twe. The judge wants to do the right thing, but I think he's not strong enough to resist the government because the government pressure is overwhelming.
Right. And that what you see is truly. The judge is under pressure. Just what Samuel Twe said, that's what happened today. The judge said, my man, we're going back. All that in the people, they all there. As far as we're concerned, we ain't consider it. You're not a free man. You will stand trial again and we'll find you guilty. All the jurors this time around will be all United Party jurors. We will make sure that they find you guilty. All of them. And what's going to happen, thank God he said, but let's assume, just in case it was going to happen, all of the jurors now will be operating in fear. Fear for their lives, fear for their family life, because they will have security on them. They will have surveillance on them. We've seen it in movies. We've seen it in other countries. They will not operate with independence. They will be operating. If we bring get very against Samuel Twe, something will happen to us. Me, I won't lose my life. Me, I get only one son. Me, I won't lose my son. Me, I get my precious daughter. I won't lose my daughter. So everybody will go. So let's assume the other way around. Samuel Twe is retried, and Samuel Twe fans get it. And then somebody comes out and say, jury tampering. Will the judge say, we come in to investigate again, we cancel it, we investigating? It will never happen. The government has always wanted President Bouaka, always want to see Samuel Twe in jail. You get President Bouaka, China, President Bouaka can take Joe and put Joe in jail. Nobody is more vindictive and wicked than President Bouaka. He is the main man behind all of these things you see. So but you stay there. You must stay there for Rock of Ages. You must stay there. You must stay there for Rock of Ages. You must stay there for eternity. Unity Party must not leave. You stay there. Because when you leave, that trouble, that revenge. And you saw 1990 war, looking for government officials then here there. The ones who are acting pump who are trampling upon their friend, putting their friend in jail, suppressing their friend there. You saw how they slaughter them. And you saw it. That mind, the country still has it. It's not because we off war for several years. So the very God said, in times of peace, also get ready for war. What that statement means is when the people start showing the signs that put them in war, it's very likely they will go back and our God will say that and look at. Let Nigeria that, you know how many times Nigeria went into civil war? But in between, there were intermittent breaks of peace, relative calm. And then they start showing the scenes and bam, the one inside again. There are several countries. Who told you Liberia is extra? Come on. You think I'm sounding unpatriotic and unnationalistic? I'm telling you, we read the political science. If you say that this man here, what the court did, what the jurors did was wrong, and therefore the man is not free, we will do everything we can using our Machiavellian might to put a man in jail. When put him in jail, then the country is stable. Amen. What's that? That's why the man say, you go for him. He ain't submitting to anything. He ain't submitting to anybody. So let's see now. That's what we're waiting for. Let's see where you will send the military, the police, EPS. You send all the people to the man. Let's hear from his lawyer, Arthur Johnson. Let's hear what his lawyer got to say. Briefly, then we move to you to have your say.
He said it's sad.
Let's see what it said. Let's get to the counselor.
Any juror. I am not defending any juror. That's one. I am defending the interest of the person that took oath as a lawyer, ethically, to represent. And that is Samuel Twe and the other defendants. We still want to maintain that this ruling has destroyed our entire democracy in our judicial system. There have been nowhere that the judge cited. There have been nowhere where after the jurors have been disbanded, I'm not saying where the verdict comes out, and they are not disbanded. But where the jurors have come with a verdict and they have been disbanded, meaning the court has no jurisdiction on you, and the term of closed court has ended, that judge has no legal authority to call that jury back to question them on allegations of how they voted and why they voted the way they voted. It had never happened in our law, in our system. I challenge any lawyer or any legal practitioner to show that. That's one. Two, the law that we are talking about, the issue that have just unfolded today, this is the first time it happened in our jurisdiction. How? The first time in our country where a verdict has been returned. The jurors have been disbanded and they are going into their communities. And then for the judge to hear an investigation, a complaint after the court has been disbanded and say that he has jurisdiction to return the verdict, to overturn the verdict, they are not happy. The only country that we have copied from that it has happened, that has spoken on that kind of issue, is the American jurisprudence. Our petition is that the American jurisprudence says that if the jury have been disbanded, any attempt to call them back, listen to it, there is a difference between jury returning a verdict that they are not disbanded, they still under the jurisdiction of the court, and the jury returning a verdict where they have been disbanded, like the Southwest case. The U.S. Supreme Court that we copied from under the doctrine of stare decisis says any attempt to do that, to call the juror back from the community to the court to question them about allegations of jury temper or misunderstanding or what happened, how they voted, it said it is unconstitutional and legally dangerous. That is why the U.S. Supreme Court.
At what position do you believe that this court has reached to this particular decision?
At what?
At what position do you believe the court has reached to such decision in this case?
Well, I don't know, because I have taken the issue before the Supreme Court, and what we agreed on when we came back, before we come back, when I filed the first prohibition, it was the issue of jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is not something that you do by the consent of the parties. Oh, let's agree that we must have jurisdiction. You can do that. No, jurisdiction is what the law says. When I say jurisdiction, it means from February this year, where the court was open, and the court ended at the end of February, going to March, and then we extended up to what? June and July. You cannot have a hearing about a decision as a trial judge for what you did in February, because the court has authority to open 4 times a year. When that one of those 4 times is up, you can't go back. It is by law. It is not a situation of people agreeing. It is by law. Because there is no application you file before the process. Yeah.
Okay, that's the lawyer for former Finance Minister Samuel Tuah. Will bring you the full version of that, or that full interview later. Just continue to follow us after the show. You'll get a full interview. We will run it. But before we get to the line, let me share with you one of the jurors. One of the jurors wrote, she is the daughter of the late Tanda Pole. Apparently, she must know exactly what happened. She expressed optimism. Hear what she wrote on her official page, the daughter of the late Tanda Pole, Sia J. Tanda Pole. She said, God is the impartial judge, and those that have manipulated these lies will feel the wrath of God. Why don't you confront us? Why you don't confront us with the findings of the so-called Lord? Must everything be politicized in this country? Let's go now to the line. Take a few calls. You want to stick to your meaning, stick to the point. Once you have made your decision, or your point rather, once you have made your point, you go off, attempting to develop a long speech, you will go off. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 4497. The women's line 077980375. Men's line. Good afternoon.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Fine.
Repeat what Johnson.
Let's hear you.
And the government trying to arrest some to I think that will go back to that is not it because you know what the government doing at least because God to give the government a chance. That is the thing to take the country or something to it. So why there's something to it, I think to go back to that is nothing. That's the only thing that will the government to counter. But to get a chance, they will seize all citizens or the highest people so that to can be a free road for them. So we shouldn't get a chance.
All right, Chief. You're right. Thank you. Have a nice day. Let's go to this other man's line. Hello?
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, this is Edmund Carr, and I remain the visually impaired and pushing for the return of person. We are a proud member of Concern Liberian for Justice. I'm very sure that the plan that Unity Party was having during the 2023 election for interim government, I'm very sure that Unity Party is pushing for that. They have come to realize that it's not possible that they can win election, and the one that they were depending on about cheating, we have discovered it, we are fighting it. So the only way they think that they can do it is a call for uprising in the country, then there will be interim arrangement, they can stay continue to benefit. Because I don't get it. We know the story about Samuel Tue, and I like what he has said. I hope he will stand by that, and the party will support him. We will support him to stand by that. Because what judge are you going to be going before? When he has proven to us that his neutrality is not possible. But it is clear that there cannot be any fair trial if Samuel Tue subjects himself to another trial. Because they are the ones going to be putting their juror together, and it's going to be in their interest so that they can make it sure that he go to jail. And they will go to a house and arrest him and lock him up. That will be clear that they arrested him against his will and lock him up. Therefore, he to wait his turn to go face another legal proceeding.
And that which they can do, they can go to his house and forcibly take him out. You can force the person to stay in jail. The only thing they will do is to take him to jail, and they can't take him to jail. You have to take a person to jail when he's found guilty. So you see.
So that is not because look, we can't continuously be here talking about peace when Unity Party is destroying the peace. They are in power and fighting against the peace. Why should we take an opportunity to talk about peace when you can see these people actually dragging our country into mess?
All right, Mr.
So we stand by with that, and we hold that as for Fina, we pray with her, and we know that things happen the way it happened. And like you said, but Judah Haskara has now giving her up. But we're going to be in prayer with her that she gave her word, that let God take charge, God is in control. We are going to be in prayer with her. We know that one of these days, things will be okay. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Carr, have a nice day. Women's line. Hello? Hello? Yep. Yeah, I'm doing good. And you?
Yeah, I think I want to get a G, so I'm going to get a G to you again.
Yeah.
After beginning 19.2 million, we are getting 195 million in the country again.
No, 157. 157.
Okay, okay, we tell God, thank you. We are beginning the job thing. Say begin to. We are in power now. Say begin local and job in the country. No?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Gispa.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So let me say thanks to Samuel Tue, lawyer. We set it up. Let me say thank you to Samuel Tue. He must also object to any investigation. That's a 100%. Then you say to him, carry brigade to go for him there. And carry him to go for him in jail. Then what they want to do is they want to pay himself. They never already went to the court and the jury and panel they say you go home. You are free citizen now. To call those people by and say, oh, what investigation was stupid. We're not stupid, that's what I said to your house. Let the post say they are killing brigade, I call myself police or army, and then go direct to from your house and come and go put on Sorby. We agree with anything I don't make it we now let look and see. And let what the thing about our partner watching over us. And they are serious that going on in the country. You bring jobs, you can get results. You bring another one, then you really after one to it. Because you made a comment to low ugly. But because who are win there. So they coming by, they coming to swear. So I want to say thanks to you. You will not go there. You will not go there. Then you stay to your house. Then they focus la cleaning brigade for Baka administration to go and direct it for your house to go for your Sorby. Thank you for the time, my brother.
All right, G's partner, have a nice day. Men's line, hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Semadu.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Peter the Vicar, so I come on the street like in Lower Johnson and ask member of the concern of Bureau for Justice. You know, Mr. Sam Andrew, Liberia is constitutionally democratic, which means Liberia is not governed by men, but a law. So Samuel 12 was taken and before a competent court of jurisdiction. And he defeated the government face down. Government had to accept that. So there's nothing that will call for a retrial, just as Councillor Actor Johnson said. That's the first time. You see, when people come to power, that kind of limited antiquity idea, where they feel that power they cannot survive out of government, you should have those that have defending view against them or political, and those that have political power to suppress them. That's the interview of Joseph Imabwaka and Kony. But it's not going to work with Samuel Tue. I really admire his courage, and that's just like he said, you will not submit himself. So we are here observing the process. The guy see that he will arrest Samuel Tue, arbitrated, and have it incarcerated and a right lottery here. It's not going to work. Will make life unbearable for Joseph Imabwaka and Kony. If they cannot adhere to the rule of law, will force them to adhere to the rule of law.
Okay.
And
all right.
the entire country will get into a chaotic situation. That's the reality.
All
that's
right,
what
Chief.
Joseph Imabwaka wants. And that's the situation that the black people voted for. Samuel Tue,
All right, thank you. Hello. Yep.
I'm David Danko from Firestone.
Yeah, let's hear you from Firestone.
I'm very much happy for the post that Siatanapuri wrote that she made. You know, we who have the fear of God, God himself will look into that case. If nobody ever bribed juror, God will look into it. If what the people doing is wrong, they want to pick a time where God himself will come up with a result. We will see it for ourselves. If the bribe or juror, if it is a good thing, God will answer the question himself. We'll see it for ourselves here. Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. Women's line. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
C'était Robert calling from Johnsonville, concernant la Bureau for Justice. Andrew, I said the topic of the money on Israel show. I said, you know, the thing that they came, that Samuel Tue went on and he was not guilty. He can't down. And you know, the thing that they send the case around. They will send the case around, they will go arrest Samuel Tue, that we from that side, we will fall.
But who can arrest Samuel Tue? Who can arrest Samuel Tue that they will go arrest Samuel Tue?
Now what I'm talking about, brother, is the thing we're for our here with the CDC, because we're not talking. When the thing that we're for our here, we look up Baka to get away, to get a Supreme Court in off. This will be the last. And Samuel Tue, listen to me. Don't never subject yourself as the statement that you made last. Don't subject yourself to any investigation. We are waiting. From now on, the Bureau, you get ready. Joseph Baka will plug the country to care and will be prepared for it. Thank you very much.
All right, madam. Have a nice day. Women's line, hello.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrew, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from Down Coast Spoon Hill, one town community, member of Concern Liberia for Justice. Mr. Andrew, I think the arrest of the quote-unquote 1.1 million worth of drugs today. 157.
The Minister of Information said 157.
157 million worth of drugs today. It just validated our assessment that our intel gave us that the drugs that came to Liberia is squarely put around 500 million. That's what was exhibited today. Mr.
into our country. That was why we're exemplifying today. And today, I want to once again use a medium to appreciate President Weah. 2023, he took a painstaking decision. But today, the reality of that decision is unfolding by the day. If President Weah had not taken that decision, we wouldn't have known what is happening today. But today, we know that Joseph Newman Boakai fought only to bring his drug cartel into our country, to make Liberia into a narco state. That was what we today. Want to say thank you very much. I want to say thank you to Samuel D12 for your bravery and your courage. That year we will always stand by you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, let's take a few more calls. It's 5:21, 5:30. We wrap up. So the internet people are here. They want to we're stretching, we're rebranding. So the internet people are in. They want to get some things done as quickly as possible. So let's take a few calls. 5:30. We have to give them a chance to do their work. Women's line. Let's go. Hello. Yeah. Let's go quick. We have to go.
Yeah, this is Cecilia. We are calling from Executive. Yeah, I just want to say one thing to the United States people. They can't see what they are doing. They're doing right for our needs. They see God that there was some sweat from that kid. That they see God will see him through so that he stays the ground. They will fall into that own evil. They will fall into that pit that they keep. They will fall into it. I just want to tell them. Thank you.
All right, madam, let's go this way. Men's line. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
This is Boundary. Yeah?
Yes. Cut off your radio. Cut off your radio, Chief.
Okay. I found up on the radio. I'm way on the road.
Let's hear you.
Right
yeah.
Okay. This is another Richard Johnson in the MPFL. I dare the government to say they're going to wreck. I'm there. They call me Dingo Warrior. I'm there now. I will be around here and I will be out with my boys. Let them come and rest. Let me hear that they're turning law over. What had not happened before in the whole wide world. Let me hear it. We hear. Let them come and rest. I think what the president is saying, it will be the end of that. Well, probably it might be.
Okay, Chief. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Women's line. Hello?
Yeah, I'm Abesi.
Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Fine.
Yeah. And this is a school now one. It all first said about J. You study about go free here. And they were not J. They put that different my boy friend there. You're a friend all their money. You come for a same side. They depend on J, man. Before you free. What is the camera coffee? Yes, the party, what is your camera coffee? We thank you for the draw. For we sister, 2 person, 3 person will get there. They will go out and reach a 5 person. You're doing well. Oh, you're journey there, you're doing well. I tell you, you're open the room will find your with the and they tell me there. Now we all buy you. The people will suffer, you must suffer tomorrow. You're taking your open our eyes for our graduates. That's why we get one. They will get you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. All right, my busy. All right. Last one. Men's line. Then we'll read the comments and out. Hello. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you. My name is Liba Sandy, and I'm calling from Chicken Republic Afternoon. A proud member of Concerns that went for justice. Well, Mr. Andrew, I don't know what people could forget in the country. 2 years back ago, 2 years ago, similar thing that brought April 6. This is what we are driving to today. The issue of justice. Samuel 12 was set free. President Boakai, it is time to use your wisdom. This country belongs to every one of us. Don't continue to make get a law after that because of so much free or envy, because the men have been set free. Please, For me, I'm fully appealing to you as the president. Please use your wisdom and let us avoid trouble in the country. The process, I don't know whether you were here, and the how it started. People ran because people were collected with guns. I continue to say this thing because we were in it. Thank you for putting me the time.
Thank you too for calling. Thank you all for spicing up the call segment of the show. Let's read a few of your comments, and then that will be doing it for today. Okasa Duet said, we are ready to protect Mr. Twe. If they try anything, we are ready. Death is better. Death is better than life. Let them try it. Joseph, we are right. The same way Taylor government thought they were more powerful. And we started attacking from Lofa County all the way to Monrovia until we run their government out. And if this useless Bwaka government doesn't stop what they are doing to others, they should get ready for attack. Edwin Sumogoya says, Bwaka has failed the people and now trying to put the country into a complete mess. Bwaka, let the sleeping dog lie, or you will be bitten. Perry Slobot from New Jersey, USA. Bukhari was a Lofa Defense Force Commander General, so he doesn't have feelings. But after his regime, he and his criminal gangsters will be arrested and persecuted. Emmanuel Bro, yes, I agree that Samuel Twe is a free man because his original non-guilty verdict is irreversible. Tobasi, I hope you guys understand that the Colombian drug cartel who assassinate law enforcement officers and politicians in Liberia or pay people or pay gangsters to assassinate law enforcement officers and politicians. You all should not joke with the Colombian drug cartel. They are very sophisticated. Fred Nimland Dix writes, what goes around comes around. Victoria Tay, so true. On the drug issue, Emmanuel Bro writes, I can see that Nigerian pastor's prophecy that the president and his Unity Party government will be disgraced nationally and internationally. It's gradually coming to pass. God has numerous ways to disgrace people. And in my view, this cocaine situation in Liberia nowadays is one of the ways he's disgracing them. Fumba Yan said, okay, yeah, that's the same thing. Slavian Blapo said the government is just trying to cover up. All what is going on today is all staged by the government to fool the people as if they have arrested foreigners that have the drugs. It's all staged by the police director as cover up for the international partners. They are fighting against drugs. All right. You all did well to spice up the show. Thank you ever so much. That's all the time we've got to be here. We've got to give our guys the chance. You know, you people been raising concern. We're being on and off. It hasn't been easy. Finally, they are in to do their professional work. All right. Kuda Williams. Kuda Williams say, why plead for this? No, Kuda, man, you're leaving. I said, let us all try to console. She's still a sedition. That George Weah daughter. George Weah is not vexed with Fina. You know, he's trying the best he can. Yeah, so you just leave it as it is. Weah will settle it. That Weah daughter, Weah took Fina from nowhere. Fina was small. When Weah took her, it was Weah who gave her life, who exposed her, who made her the woman she is, who exposed her to the whole wide world. No one knew Fina from anywhere, and Fina never thought she would have known herself. No, it was George Weah who took her from nowhere and made her somebody. So with Weah as your leader, you just want to look at it from that point. You don't lambast Fina Bono, say all manner of things against her, situation can influence people to say some things and do some things. She didn't say that by herself. You want to understand the situation she in. Yeah, so I beg you. All right, man. So, hey, man, y'all thank you there. Oh. It was there in the Liberian way. So let's see now. We're waiting if they can go to Samuel Tue's house. They arrest Samuel Tue. Let them carry the military, the entire military of Liberia, armed forces of Liberia, the entire police force of the Republic of Liberia. You carry everybody, DEA. You carry everybody to Samuel Tue's house. I say, my man, we came for you. You go to jail at all costs. We'll force you. We'll carry you to the court. We'll stand you before the judge, and the judge will pronounce your sentence. Because I think that's the only thing you can do. You carry AFL. How they call them? The police people with the gun. They were max men. Then you force Samuel Tue. You're standing here in front of the judge with guns all around him. Then the judge reads, Samuel Tue is hereby guilty of economic sabotage, etc. Is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment, and you're carrying there. Yeah, we won't see that one. The only thing you can do, that the only option. This is democracy. This is not a junta state. This is not a junta state. This is a democracy. Come on. Yesterday you said we was not winning court. Was not winning cases. The government was weak. It's because we felt that the law was the law. The president cannot arm twist. The court cannot subject the judge to work at the whims and caprice of the president. Today, you people who say that, now the judge works at the will and pleasure of the executive. The judge hand is arm twisted. None of the judges in Liberia under the Unity Party government now is independent. Everybody is operating with political fear. The court has been subjected to doing the will of the executive. Who going to trust the court again? I see y'all, man. Y'all want to join us at 8 o'clock tonight, please, when the man of the hour, the light of the nation, the teacher of the land, the evangelist, and Anthony at Law A.B. William with Face the Issues. You don't want to miss it. And then tomorrow morning at 7, Israel Boy We Are See is in with Let's Talk About It. If God permits, we're back tomorrow. Shalom.
Joe.
Thank you.